What's up, everybody? We are live. Taking home my friend.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. I'm your host, David. This is my boy here, Mike.
Hello.
What's going on, sir?
Hey, buddy. Everything's been fantastic on this end, my friend. I have nothing but good news to share. I mean, other than some of the stuff that, we track frequent with sports. But as for life in general, dude, I mean, minus this fucking outbreak, everything's been pretty fantastic. How about yourself?
Same old, man. I mean, granted, yes, outbreak, whatever. I haven't slowed down one bit, and I don't see myself slowing down at all. Just day to day shit. Just rolling, just steamrolling through life. This weekend was relaxed and chilled. We finally got some sports this past weekend. USC, was it 251?
Yes, sir.
USC 251. Didn't watch it. I was at work. But I heard it was a big nothing burger. I mean, it was uneventful.
Yeah, that's the understatement of the day, my friend. Oh, dude, it was beyond boring. I mean, you called me up last night and like an absolute, I can't even say as a quitter, dude. Like, it was so white bread, I fell asleep before Masvidal. Like, in the first round of Masvidal Usman, I was sitting there going, dude, I'm out. Like, I'm not wasting any more of my night on this. The entire fight card, the actual fight card itself, the prelims were the only ones that got fight of the night honors. So the entire actual fight card was exactly what we expected it to be before Masvidal got on the card. And it's stunk, dude. It's
stunk. So since I didn't watch it, kind of explain to me the setup, because we had Fight Island, right? Was that like early prelims?
The whole thing was yeah. So it was weird because the Fight Island there in Abu Dhabi, they were really sending mixed signals with the whole ordeal. Because like if you were watching the commercials for it, they were like showing this outside cage, and you were thinking, oh shit, man, these guys are gonna be doing like some Mortal Kombat entry scenes here, like the prelims fighting out on the beach kind of deal before the initial test your might, that kind of shit. So, and dude, they were inside of basically it was like a makeshift hangar, if you will, kind of like not an actual hangar, but like one you throw together downrange in the desert when you're deployed in something. So basically just to keep the sand out. But yeah, no, overall, dude, I think it was just a bust. Especially for something they've been hyping up, it ended up just being a complete dud.
Yeah, I think so too, especially with stuff like that being thrown together last minute, with the main event being just being thrown together last minute. I don't know, man. Like, I think it just missed the mark, which was unfortunate. Like, I'm a big Masvidal fan. And I heard he just, he seems like his self that he just pretty much let everybody down, which he did. I mean, he didn't go in there. He didn't win, obviously, but I don't think he put on the show that he really wanted to put on.
So I don't know if you noticed, but the number one trending hashtag last night was trashing one of the refs for the fact that the guy was a complete boob, and he could have almost gotten one of the fighters killed or severely injured, dude. And not like fight injured, like the guy just incompetency injured, which when you're a professional athlete and you're there expecting the ref to be getting paid the amount of money is to keep me protected while I'm in the ring in case it gets out of hand and the guy's not performing up to his tasks. It's a problem. So it got so bad, Dana White, like you can tell when Dana White enjoys fights, man. Guy's got a smile on his face after the fights. He's jazzed about it. Dude was stone cold after the fights last night. Just pissed. First thing he did was just started going in on the reffing. Dude, Max Holloway beat the living shit out of Volkanovski. Beat the crap out of him.
But he got robbed last night, didn't he?
Horrifically, dude. I was stunned. Everybody was stunned when it came down to the judging. There's no possible way this guy won this fight. But I guess they were just so were so predispositioned that the whole cliche of if it goes down to the wire, then you're going to give it to the champ. That they didn't even. It seems like they just completely bypassed looking at this subjectively and saying, Holloway cleaned him up. Whether or not it went to the judges at all, it still was Max Holloway's fight to lose. So it was really ridiculous when they came down and lifted Volkanovski's arm.
Yeah. I kind of read reports on that, earlier today, and I almost feel like, Dana White, I give him respect when respect is due. He's pretty good on calling bullshit. It almost feels like he'll run that one back.
Yeah, I think he's going to make Masvidal fight Colby Covington before and see which one of them is going to end up another shot at the title. But he can't be happy with the welterweight division after that fight, dude. Because it's like, dude, I was watching highlights afterwards of the Usman fight. He literally just did what he does. He knew he couldn't do stand-up with Masvidal, so he just held him up against the cage the whole time. Tried to take him down a few times, but didn't take into account the fact that Masvidal was a wrestler and he's been doing jiu-jitsu since he was like 8. So, or 11-ish, whatever. Anyways, really young kind of deal. So, I mean, he's got very good grappling defense. He's very underrated for that. And so basically Usman just spent the entire time just manhandling him up against the cage. And I guess apparently he was stomping on his toes, which, dude, that was another bit that was par for the course with this fight, man. There was 3 fights in a row that they had to stop for a recovery time. So basically either a dude got eye gouged, he got kicked in the dick, or another one that was unbelievable. Dude, 3 times they had a recovery stoppage in one fucking fight until finally the ref was like, you're losing 2 points. Ended up costing the guy the fight. But it was so fucking ridiculous just for the simple fact that it should have never happened 3 fights in a row, including that one, which was finally like the last Shiraz where they were like, yeah, there's not going to be any recovery stoppage in these next fights, or, we're going to have a conversation. I'm guessing Dana White probably stepped in and was pretty pissed about it, which I don't blame him. But, dude, there was one – the guy was on the ground, and the dude kicked him in the balls once, kicked him in the balls twice – or I'm sorry, poked him in the eye and then kneed him in the temple while he was on a knee. He was leaning against the cage on a knee. The dude did a flying knee to his temple.
The fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Was like in the early? Was it like in the prelim round?
Yeah, it was prelims. It was what the fuck? Roman Bogatov, which dude, he could have severely. I mean, he did. Leonardo Santos last night. Leo Santos. He injured that guy, and not because of good fighting, because it was cheapskate bullshit. Dude, it was so bad. Leo Santos literally just tried to make the fight. That was it, because he was, like I said, he got kicked in the balls, he got poked in the eye, and kneed in the temple. I was shocked. I was impressed more than anything else that the guy was able to just make it to decision, because the last minute of the fight, dude, you could just tell he was fucking stunned because of the shots that had happened to him. Like, at a certain point in time, you're just not in the fight anymore, because it's like, dude, fuck this guy across from me.
Yeah. Like, you're trying to be a good sport about it and just not lose your cool and just lose your shit. Like, all right, dude, we're going to brawl. And, just really make this personal and not business anymore. But, dude, that was that was unfortunate. The only sports that we did have, and it was a big nothing burger. So,
I would like to give some positive accreditation, though. Okay. Makwan Amirkhani. So he won on an anaconda choke in the first round, which was killer, dude. Just absolutely textbook the way that he did it. The guy passed out with his eyes open. He felt the guy pass right, which is, I mean, it's funny when you sit here and talk about it, but when you're watching it live, you're like, oh shit, is that guy still operating? The dude was completely malfunctioned, man. But dude, kudos to Amir Khani, because he could have ended that guy at that point in time if he kept that choke in. But he let off and then notified the ref, hey, this guy is not reacting anymore. And then once he got out from under him and realized, dude, he was stone cold, not like frozen up. He was done, dude. So immediately Amir Khani and a guy from one of the corners lifted the guy's legs up to get blood flow back towards his carotid artery. So, man, it was really cool, dude. Like, he could have just been like, fuck this guy and walked off, but he instantaneously got up and reacted to try and keep this guy alive. So that was really cool getting to see that. I think he ended up getting fight of the night for it, too.
Oh, shit. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Sweet.
everybody. So me and Mike introduced a segment last week, and we're going to do Uncommon Man podcast fantasy football. So last week we introduced the quarterbacks. So this week we're going to introduce our running backs.
Correct.
This week here.
And we will we'll be doing that tomorrow. I kind of screwed the pooch earlier, so I took my laptop over to my parents' house when we went over to hang out with them.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And I mean, as per technical difficulties before we even logged into this, I was having a bunch of issues and ended up just saying fuck this. So I dropped the ball on that one. I'll get everything together tomorrow. You guys will enjoy it. It'll be a good one. So we'll have 15 this time. Just because of the fact that you generally have more running backs on the roster than you do quarterbacks. So, we'll have a little bit more of a souffle for you guys to enjoy.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So kind of looking at mine and putting yours together, how different are we on
it? Pretty significant. It's
you motherfucker.
It's pretty significant. But it's good though. Like I said, as long as I stay sober with this one, we'll actually have a coherent conversation, and I can actually give a decent breakdown, which I feel like I kind of botched that last one on the QBs, because there's a few things in there that I was listening to afterwards, going, yeah, if I'd been sober, I would have been able to actually convey this, but instead, I just sounded like a babbling idiot. So. You guys will enjoy the next one. I promise that one. So,
okay. So a little bit of Denver Broncos news. So I think we need to talk about Justin Simmons for a second here. Okay. So of course, a couple of days ago, it came out that Justin Simmons was going to indeed sign the franchise tag. But for some reason, him and the Denver Broncos just couldn't meet on terms. And we was getting real close to the deadline. And I believe on the 10th, it was reported that, that he was going to sign the franchise tag per Yap Session. And 2 days later, he still has not signed the franchise tag. So I'm wondering what is going on there.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Like maybe he's hoping, just because of the salary cap snafu they got going on, that next year we'll have a better shot at getting a better either short-term contract and trying to rake in more money, which I mean makes sense. That position isn't really a long-term position. Or I don't know, man. Maybe the Broncos got something in line to actually give him a long-term contract, and that's why they're just not wasting their time with the franchise tender. But either way, it is pretty perplexing, since all the reports coming out of Dove Valley was he was going to sign it a few days ago. So, and you brought up some good points before we even started about that. So if you want to impress upon him, it'd be great. Yeah.
So my issue is kind of on both parties. Okay. It's kind of on the organization, John Elway, Big Fangio, like what's the deal here? Last year, Justin Simmons was rated as one of the highest safeties in the NFL. I think there was no disputing that. I mean, he had kind of a killer year under Vic Fangio. I think everybody can assume year two, he will pick up where he left off and get better. Be, if not top 5, top 3, one of the top safeties in the league for years to come, being under Vic Fangio. So kind of wondering, okay, why do we not meet on terms for a long-term contract? Now, I've also heard that Justin Simmons' representation, they're not too kind to accepting franchise tags. They do almost everything in their power not to let their players sign franchise tag. That's kind of like what they're known for. They're known for playing this real hard ball. So at some point are you going to listen to your agents over, like, hey, like, I don't work for y'all, y'all work for me. So, hey, if I want to play football, like don't get greedy here, pretty much. Don't get greedy. And then on the Denver Broncos side, on John Elway, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, did he not prove himself? Or are y'all wanting to see more? Like, what are y'all trying to do here? That's kind of my concerns.
Yeah, it's kind of perplexing, just because of what's been verbalized, and I don't know, man. It just might be bullshit reports, just so that way they have something to report on.
Yeah.
But The one thing that we can definitely attest about Denver Broncos is John Elway loves waiting to the very last second to get anything signed. Like besides free agency, when it comes to getting contracts done with his own draft picks, that dude waits till the last fucking second to get anything done. I mean, it's been that way with Demaryius Thomas, Von Miller,
Chris Harris, everybody.
Yeah. If he can't get it done during the season, he'll wait till the very last deadline day to button something up. So I'm gonna assume, what do they have till I believe the 14th it is.
I mean, so he has 2 days. Pretty much.
He has Wednesday at 4 p.m., which is
the 15th.
15th, yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know. It's again weird. We respect everything that John Elway does, but still, man, like at some point, like what's another 3 days? Like, what's another 3 days? Like, if y'all got a long-term contract in mind, like, dude, let's go ahead and button this shit up and move the fuck on, pretty much. I mean, there's so much other things to worry about this season versus, I'm going to wait 2 days to get somebody a long-term contract. Come on, bro. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to pass judgment in that regard, but, I mean, given the fact that I'm just some bum behind a microphone and utilizing YouTube to try and make myself infamous, like, I really can't pass judgment on how to run a professional sports team. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I would be literally putting both feet in my mouth and chomping down on him if I was to sit there and pass judgment on a general manager in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Besides that dope from the Jets who was sitting there wearing a face mask in his own fucking house during the draft. What an absolute moron. Or no, the Giants. The Giants. There we go. That fucking idiot. So, and if any Giants fans are listening, we don't harbor any animosity towards your team. You guys seem to really not like us for the Drew Lock pick, which we've been getting a whole bunch of blowback on. I don't.
Yeah, but how the fuck you not like us for the Drew Lock pick? I mean,
well, I think that I don't know, man.
GM.
You're right.
GM.
Yeah, but they've been blown, dude. They have been talking a gang of shit, dude, for whatever reason about the fact that Daniel Jones is better and blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, I mean, that's cool. We don't give a shit about Daniel Jones. We were just happy we didn't draft him. So, like, you guys can get mad about Drew Lock and his stats and everything that they've done to help him out, but I mean, at the end of the day,
but remember this: y'all's head coach didn't want Daniel Jones. He wanted Drew Lock, and correct. He's happy now that he got the quarterback that he wants, him and Shula. So
yeah. So and like I said, I just think there's a lot of harbored animosity there, and it's confusing me because you and I have both seen that, like, just with our Twitter feed and our YouTube interactions over the last couple of weeks, and it's like out of left field, dude. Just Giants fans. Super angry at us.
I think y'all should worry more about. I think y'all should worry more about. I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, when you're talking about their division, particularly, y'all are kind of swinging third or fourth right now. So you probably should worry more about that than worry about Drew Lock, because Drew Lock is going to be fine. Okay, he's going to be good. You need to worry about Daniel Jones and what the fuck he's going to do in that division.
Yeah, I feel like they're just lashing out.
Y'all are like third or fourth right now.
Yeah, it really seems like they're just lashing out, dude. So, either way, though, I'm pretty satisfied overall. I really like the overall direction that the Broncos have taken over the last 2 years with really I love the leadership qualities that they've been looking for in everybody that they've been drafting. Like, they haven't been going out for glory. I mean, that's kind of John Elway's MO in the first place, but now that he's landed a franchise quarterback, like, the sky's the limit for this team. And as Broncos fans, obviously it's kind of hacky because, this is primarily a Broncos fan YouTube channel, but we do still talk about all the other teams because we enjoy football in general. But since we're on the topic of conversation, because we follow them most closely in the news, like I said, the direction that they're taking as a franchise, I feel like, maybe they're not going to have the most prolific passer of all time, but it's kind of like that golden goose thing. It's like Mahomes is the golden goose, Brady was the golden goose, but the fact that Locke is hyper talented, and they've put a hyper talent roster around him. Like, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. If you look at it on pencil to paper, the Broncos roster is night and day difference from the Chiefs. The only difference is they just don't have that unbelievable human being that's taking snaps underneath center. So, but I mean,
I think they started in the right spot, and I think they're going about it the right way. Only time will tell with everything that's going on. Only time will tell how everything will shake out. But if it wasn't for getting your quarterback, everything else is irrelevant. Because we still could be going through, your Case Keenums, your Joe Flacco's, and whatever, washed up, you need to retire fucking quarterback, you name it. But now that we do have a starter, and we do it, it's only on the rise from here.
Yeah, dude, everything's looking super positive. So that's why I said we're just kind of like bewildered over the fact that the Giants fans are like lashing out at us. Like, dude, I mean, come on, man. I mean, dislike somebody from your own conference. You guys already have enough hatred towards those guys anyways. Like, let us hate the Raiders. You guys are welcome to hate the Raiders too. We're good with that. But, for otherwise just continue hating the Cowboys and the Eagles and whatever the new nickname is going to be for the Redskins. So, or nickname, whatever the new team name is going to be for the Redskins.
I think there should be 4 just for having to switch your fucking name. Just number 1. For you switch your name, motherfucker, you start out in 4th in the division.
I mean, well, if you look at their draft status, that's where they started anyway. So they kind of needed that rebuild. But we were both sitting there listening to that, just laughing our asses off because it's like, well, if Washington's doing this and they at least have like a potentially successful team, what the fuck is the Browns' excuses at this point for not renaming that team and giving those poor fans everything they deserve for how dedicated they've been throughout the ages with that team?
Most dedicated fan base in the league, baby.
Bar none, dude. Bar none. Like, love the hell out of the Browns, dude. That's why.
Are you drinking chicken broth? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's bone broth, bro.
Like, I thought you said you was gonna get a beer, not fucking chicken broth.
I was drinking a beer, dude. I ran out of my beer, but I had some bone broth. This stuff's really good.
Is this some secret diet you're doing?
Yes, dude. I'm still on that. I'm still on this keto diet shit. I've really,
Lord.
Dude. I've really let off the throttle a lot. Like for a while there, like 2 months straight, I was eating nothing but meat on that carnivore diet, and then I just got to a point where I was, when we started moving, you don't really have access to use the kitchen as much. So because of that, it kind of put our backs against the wall, and I still had to eat food. So we were grabbing fast food and shit, just fucked the whole thing. So I'm trying to get back into the phase. I'm not doing it as extensively as I did before. I really just did that for me, prove a point kind of deal. But I'm getting back on the keto diet where we're cutting out the carbs again. So yeah, dude, this is a great source of protein, especially. Dude, chicken broth isn't bad. It's almost the exact same thing. That I just, for whatever reason, I feel bone broth tastes a little bit better for both. Really, the chicken one, the beef one isn't too bad either. So, don't get the organic shit from HEB though, dude. It's the fucking worst. Oh, dude, that's the first time in my life I took food back because it was so terrible. Dude, I took one swig into it, went spit it back, and it was fucking rancid.
I'll let you drink your fucking soup over there.
Thank you. Dude, I can't wait for next week, though, man. I don't know.
What's going on next week?
Well, just with the fact that I've got busted ribs right now, I couldn't go to hockey today because I'm almost, I'd say probably about 60-70% healed with the wrap that I've been doing. Looks like I've got a girdle on, trying to puff up my boobs. But either way, dude, like it's one thing to have like knee injuries or elbow injuries or bruises and shit. It's just a different ball game when it hurts to breathe. So like my wife and my parents asked me if I was going to hockey tonight. I was like, no, because if I fall one time, and I'm in as much agony as I've been in for the last 2 weeks. Like, I'm just going to sit there and put my head through the fucking wall. So I'm taking 1 week.
You going back next week, though?
Yeah, I'm going to try. Yeah, if I'm feeling well enough next week, I'll do it. But, dude, I mean, not being able to run or work out for the last 2 weeks has just been brutal.
Oh, okay.
So that's the other reason I'm dedicated to this diet right now, so I don't turn into a fucking fat body.
Dude, I seriously need to get back on some kind of diet or something like that because my shit is all over the place.
Doing really well.
All over the fucking place. But I'll get back to it, though. It's all good.
Yeah, how's everything going for you right now, like with work and shit?
Man, honestly, I'm kind of getting to the point to where, like, I'm pretty in tune with my body, right? And so my body's kind of telling me, like, all right, motherfucker, like, you need to sit down somewhere. And I'm about to get to the point, which the time I'm taking my vacation is good because the week after that starts school. So I can have a week off before school starts, before I can mentally get myself prepared to get back on the grind of going back to work, 2 jobs, also going to school 2 days a week and different shit like that. So, I mean, but other than that, man, like I say, you know, me and you talked multiple times, dude, like with viruses and all this other shit, like, dude, like I don't feel the effects of it. Like I don't have a essential job. I mean, like I'm a fucking retail manager. And so, dude, I'm still cranking shit out. I mean, like we're still working.
Well, that's good. So you guys are still staying pretty active?
Yeah, pretty fucking active.
Wow,
like we're running about 95% to what we were doing last year. So that right there should tell you a lot.
That's crazy, dude. Like I figured just with everything going on here and all these people who are just like panic buyers, that they would be doing everything they can to avoid contact or interaction. So the traffic through where you work would just subside. So that's great to hear that isn't the case. Because yeah, I figured basically Amazon would have been putting you guys out of business with all that fucking dumb shit.
Well, no, man. I don't know, man. It's like with the Amazon shit, bro. It's like it's like I'm probably gonna catch a lot of shit for this, which I can't give 2 shits about. It's what I've noticed is you still have a lot of fucking people out there that want to see, touch, smell, all the other shit. So like we have a lot of people who just will not, you know, buy solely from Amazon. I mean, yeah, you get a lot of your knick-knack shit from Amazon, whatever, but dude, we still have people just fucking beating down the doors, coming in buying shit. Like you still have that group of people who still want to come in, buy, try our own shit, you know, recommend, and, you know, talk to an actual fucking person. You know, I don't know where, you know, in different larger cities or whatever, that may be different. Maybe they don't like fuck going to the mall. We don't do this shit. But I mean, here in kind of like rural Arkansas, I mean, dude, we do it all day.
I'm glad, dude. As long as you guys stay in business, that means I get to keep coming in and trying on underwear. So I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to hear that feedback.
So you want a person to go bare ass and try on underwear?
You're supposed to go bare ass? Oh,
No, you're not supposed to go bare ass.
Oh, okay, good.
You're supposed to put on your underwear, motherfucker.
Oh, see, I thought I was being gentlemanly just by wearing a pair of jeans with nothing on underneath. You know, you go okay. Commando, so you can come in and try and make sure that you haven't gone up a waist size when it comes to the underwear, though. So
yeah, that's kind of not what you want to do, you know.
Oh, really?
So if any of y'all see this. So if anybody see this motherfucker walking through, you know, Kohl's and shit, stop him. Don't let him try on underwear.
Well, I'm not gonna do it at Kohl's. I don't know what kind of rabid animals are running through Kohl's, but I'll definitely do it at some of the other, well, I guess more clean chains. So yeah. I thought it was the same as just trying on hats, you know, like, oh, hey, check it out, Fruit of the Looms. I mean, that's pretty much Nike of the underwear world, so cool.
Yeah, but bro, it doesn't touch it's not hugging your nutsack, bro.
What are you talking about? Flex fit? I mean, that can go for multiple parts of the body. You seen yoga pants?
Yoga pants, the spikes and all this shit too. The jeggings.
Oh, dude, those are wild, man. Oh, so gross.
Yeah.
So gross. Like when I first saw that, I was like, man, that isn't too bad of a concept. And then you see it like actually implemented on the people who buy it, and you're like, yeah, that's a bad idea.
Like stuff in that laundry bag, just
dude. And it's just
work
one
fit. Work it fit. I'm like, come on, big girl, give it a rest.
Dude, and the amount of waves on that ocean, dude. Oh,
Lord.
It's just enough to make you regurgitate lunch. Oh, so brutal. But
man, so what's going how's school your way?
Everything's great, dude. So I just finished up my calculus class on Thursday, which is why I botched us getting another podcast pumped out. Obviously this one, which was supposed to be done on Wednesday. But I was doing one of these 5 weeks hyper courses during the summer to try and knock out 2 different calculus
cram
classes.
Everything in.
So I got one. I got a B on that one, and I'm rolling into the next one on Monday. So. Yeah, dude, this degree's brutal, man, especially for a dum-dum.
How much longer you got?
About 2 years. I'm hoping to be done preferably by summer of 2022.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
and just keep grinding it out, bro. Just keep grinding it out.
Yeah, dude. I have to, man. We're older. It's kind of at that point of where you start hearing people like you either have, the hand or the bush kind of deal. So it's like, all right, well, am I going to be a 30-year-old fuck up my entire life? And then when I hit 40, 45, I have to go back and do, shitty labor jobs and just listen to all the people that work around me pissing and complaining about the fact that their body hurts as well as me at that point in time. Or just crack down, let the VA, let the government pay for my degree right now and get an engineering degree out of the way just from being dedicated to my studies. And then at that point in time, I'm still young and marketable, by the age of 32-ish, I should still be marketable, especially with everything, my background in offshore drone stuff that I bring, as well as hydraulics from working on aircraft. So, and propulsion systems. So like I said, man, I got a lot of industry experience. My biggest deal right now is just kind of putting it all together and finding a nice job where I can sit back on my ass and let somebody else do the work,
That is key, because when you can sit back and manage and lead properly, not like that fuck up who got you in the situation that you were in. So
which one?
It'd be best. Oh, which one?
which one? So, the injury. Yeah. This is what happens. This right here is what happens when you don't, when you fucking take someone else's advice and you basically let them lead you down the wrong hole. So, but, that's neither here nor there. Nobody wants to hear about negative stories, but, on a positive aspect, like I said, I got a lot of background industry experience working with offshore drone, which is a super stable market. And on top of that as well, now I have the ability to go and get paid a lot more money to do a lot less work. So I'm good with that,
Oh, okay.
But I'm excited for you and what you got going on, though, with your technical school and coming up. That's going to be awesome. It'd be even more awesome if that ends up moving you down to Houston.
Man, hopefully it opens doors for a lot of different things. Just a lot of people that I've been talking to or whatever, everything does seem promising. Dude, it just, I'm always trying to add more shit to my arsenal. Right. So that way I'm not pigeonholed to shit. Awesome. Like at any given point, I'm like, all right, bro, like over this shit on something else.
Well, if you were in Houston, I could teach you how to work on cars and shit too. But I mean, you keep wanting to quit out and stay in Arkansas. Not that there's anything wrong with
fucking sweatbox Houston down there.
Oh yeah. Oh, Arkansas is definitely not a sweatbox. Fuck out of here. That place is a nightmare. Dude, at least we have the ocean breeze, bro. Like, I got to, dude,
Ocean
Arkansas.
breeze? Ocean breeze there? Not just like a little city stream?
No, I'm not talking about that stupid little, I'm talking about that stupid little fan that you put underneath your little jeggings and you breeze upside of your balls and pretend that it's the ocean up there in that landlocked shithole. But
whatever.
But no, dude. But so the fuel pump and all that stuff came in for the diesel, and so I'm getting ready to do a full breakdown of that shit, man. It'd be cool to have you here and like walk you through how to do all the stuff that I'm going to do besides just putting it on YouTube kind of deal. So, because I'm probably going to pull the motor.
Exactly.
So I'm pulling the injectors out and sending them off to get rebuild, which if you're familiar with the diesel world, your injectors are, there's no ignition source on a diesel. So your injectors are quintessential for the amount of fuel that they can flow because they're run by a high pressure oil pump. So the average fuel injector is maybe like a 200-pound fuel injector. So that would instantaneously get egressed out of a diesel engine because the diesel engine compression is around like 400. So you think about the average cylinder compression is like 150, 160-ish, maybe, 180. It depends. That's going to be your ranges, between 150 to 170-ish kind of deal. Well, diesel pistons around 400 PSI. So you think about like the average fuel injector as opposed to a diesel one. So the injectors are fucking ridiculously well built. So that I got to send those off to have them completely renovated. And then I'm putting an upgraded T4 turbo kit on there. So it's going to have an S366 or equivalent. I haven't decided if I want to go with the Borg Warner or Bullseye setup for the turbo. It's going to have an electronic fuel system from the factory. It came with the mechanical fuel pump, which the pump is driven off the camshaft. There's a specific lobe that runs on the camshaft that runs the pump in and out. So, and it just basically creates a vacuum cycle with each pressurization when the pump goes up and actuates. So it's a two-way actuating cylinder to get fuel to flow one direction. And then I'm deleting both the fuel tanks, going down to one single fuel tank on there. And then, basically intercooler system and kind of, put new valve springs on there that'll be able to support basically the power output. The pistons, the compression's all still really good on the engine's still really healthy. I don't have any blow by. So basically most of it's just going to be updating old stuff. I don't have to rebuild the engine because I've had that truck. I'm the second owner on the truck. I've owned it since the beginning of time. And I've never put any miles on it, dude. I just neglect the living shit out of it. But I mean, it's still my baby and I'll never let it go. So she's always cranked over for me every time I've had an issue. But with the fact that the mechanical fuel pump's leaking now, I was like, fuck it, it's time for doing the electrical fuel pump. And in the process of doing that, I decided to just go ahead and rebuild the whole thing.
Okay. So what's the purpose? Just for the hell of it, or you got something in mind? It's
got to be updated, dude. No, it's nothing really significant. The factory stuff's just old, outdated. So basically, most of it is just gonna be modifying it, and then the engine is really healthy. So I still have a lot of miles that I can put out of it, and I can still push a lot more horsepower and especially torque out of it. Because the factory injectors, they're really anemic until you core them out, which is, like I said, why I'm sending them off to get them renovated. But the factory injectors are really anemic, and as soon as you pump them up to where they need to be, the engine just it turns into an absolute monster. So the 7.3 diesel is fantastic. The old 90s diesels and the old late 80s diesels, they were all bulletproof, dude. The Cummins, actually even the old Chevy one, before, I don't think their original one was in the Isuzu. Their 6.9 that they had from back in the 80s and the 90s. But it never came with a turbo edition. They just had them in like Hummers and stuff like that. But I've got an old 7.3 diesel, and I know that, the old 5.9 Cummins, both the 12 valve and 24 valves, I mean, they're bulletproof. So the only difference is that the actual truck itself, the old Rams were pieces of shit because they were rust buckets. So, like I said, man, all of it's just pretty much just updating it. It's a sweet truck. I'd never get rid of it anyway. So it's just, undoing a whole bunch of neglect over the years. Luckily, like I said, the frame there's no dry rot on, nothing's rusted out. I just want to prevent it from happening in the first place. So that I plan on this thing ended up being my casket. So if I can get buried in my pickup truck, I think I've had a pretty good life. Preferably while driving it.
Goals. Get buried in my pickup truck.
Bury it as I wrap it around a tree at like $1.20. That'd be sweet. But yeah, no. So I mean, that's pretty much the update in my life, dude. I mean, otherwise everything's been cool. Hopefully, you know, I mean, I've pretty much been down because of busted ribs. So as soon as I heal up, if hockey goes well next weekend after that, I'm probably gonna go take the boat out and go wakeboarding again.
Oh yeah, okay. On that little shit turd river I got down there in Houston. This little brown water.
You talking about one of the gigantic lakes that we have here, like one of 6 of them within an hour range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Okay.
That mortifying state where you have to worry about every lake basically is a giant mosquito pond in Arkansas. You have to bottom out all those crappy little trees that blow over in the water.
The mosquitoes will run off with them. Watch your kids. Watch the team over there. Mosquitoes will fucking run off with them.
Yeah, either that or the gators or the fucking razorbacks. Dude, I fucking kid you not, dude. All those years hunting there, I never once saw a stupid warthog. Never fucking saw one.
I don't think you would. Well, like you have some places where you'll see like feral hogs and shit, but I mean, you ain't gonna see no fucking warthogs. Not around this bitch.
Whatever, know it all. I'm talking about feral hogs, whatever. Smarty pants. You and your Arkansas education.
No. Well, wait a minute. Okay, Oregon. Okay, Oregon.
Well, that's why I said I thought it was a warthog. You said it was a feral hog. There we go. I was actually benefiting you on that one. But yeah, no, dude.
So dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're such idiots. The public school system really failed us.
That's fine. I'm good with that. Hey, if they're gonna pay me to go to school, then it's worth actually showing up and staying awake this time. So,
for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I still don't read. Reading's for smart people, and I'm not into that. So.
Nah, I ain't got time for this shit.
No, dude, I'm B's or bust, baby.
Hey, remember this, sir. D's get degrees, okay?
No, do they really? I thought it was C's.
Man, that was a running joke at our school. D's get degrees.
We are done. We're arguing about. I love that. We're sitting here having a discussion about being baseline students. We don't graduate cum laude. We just graduate loud.
When I graduated, I didn't even fucking show up to graduation. Like, fuck this shit.
Right.
You motherfuckers got enough of my money. Now you want me to pay more money so I can graduate? Big middle finger to you.
Oh, that is true, dude. And it's astronomical too, paying for all that crap.
Fuck yeah. Like a whole graduation package, you have to pay for this shit. Get the fuck out of here. You already got enough of my money. Honestly, this shit should have been on the house.
Dude, for sure.
This shit should have been free. Like, the least we can give you is a fucking, a plastic fucking cap and gown that you'll never fucking wear again in your life. Fuck that.
Bro, if we hadn't been connected and had family that had like a professional photography setup, we're quoted like $350 for photos for a weekend. I was like, get fucked, dude. Absolutely not. For something that you're just going to put onto a USB card, you just went click, 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 click.
USB card.
Yeah. You're not even editing this shit. Like, fuck you. No. So, yeah, dude, he hooked us up with the pictures, and we were like, hey, excellent. This is great. I don't give a shit if there's turds in the background. Just, at least we can afford it. So,
man, you want to pay a fucking little 12-year-old girl to fucking, hey, work that iPhone.
Right. Yeah. Dude,
she had you some bomb ass pictures.
Right.
All the fucking filters, them filters, everything.
No shit, dude. How do you think so many people keep getting busted for pedophilia? These girls really know how to edit nowadays. Let's see how many people I pissed off with that joke, huh?
It'd be right there, Liv.
Love it.
Sensitivity is at all-time high, sir.
That's fucking atrocious, dude. But yeah, no. So I mean, that's pretty much just been going on here. But I'm thinking with sports going on right now. So I don't. Have you been following NBA at all?
Fuck no and won't.
Okay.
No and fucking won't.
It takes away that segment. So
and fuck NBA. Fuck them down there at the little fucking biodome. Fucking dude, don't get me fucking started on that. Fuck.
Okay, that solves that problem. That takes away 10 minutes.
I hate to spoil that one for you, but fuck.
Dude, I was gonna try and turn that 5 minutes into 10. Now I turned it into goose egg thanks to you. So
sorry, shut that down. I refuse to waste breath on the NBA.
Well, so for any of you other avid listeners that realize how diversified we are as a group, we got hockey coming up. It's a really
hockey.
Dude, it's a really sweet setup coming up. I got to get your ass watching at least a couple of these games. So they're basically not quitting out on the season. You know, Stanley Cup was supposed to be like 4 months ago. So
at least they're not quitters.
Yeah, exactly. They're supposed to be starting the season in like 3 months. So basically, they're going to have the Stanley Cup. They're going to be off for like another month and then go right back into the season.
It. But they're not no fucking quitters.
But it's cool because, I mean, they've had all this time to recover. So the teams that are in are going to be fully healthy. So basically, it's going to be like starting the season all over again, except for it's going to be a round-robin setup for the first handful of teams, like the top 4 teams that are going to play against each other for the top 4 slots. So they're going to play one against 2, 3 against 4, and then they're going to switch up till all 4 of those teams ends up with whatever record, and then they get whatever seeding. So basically, whoever was in first place at the end of the season still getting fucked because they have to play to try and keep that first place record going into the Stanley Cups. The Stanley Cup playoffs, which ensues afterwards. So starting the first week of August, they're going to have those 4 teams play from both conferences, and then they're off a week. So all the other teams in position where they came into the playoffs at, you know, where they were at throughout the season, they're going to play against each other. And then those teams that were in first through 4, then they take on for the divisional. So they'll get basically they play first to kind of like set the mood, set the standard for how this whole thing is going to play out. Then you got all the scrub teams that have to make their way through the wild card, and then they get to go play against the divisional. So basically play, week off, play. It's going to be a pretty sweet setup, but it's just cool here.
Are they playing like in one place, or they're just going everywhere?
So there's 2 spots right now. They're going to be doing it. The East Coast is playing in Edmonton. West Coast is playing. East Coast is playing in Edmonton. West Coast is playing in Vancouver, I believe. Fuck me. All right, now you
get Canada.
Yeah, correct. Because of the fact that Canada's numbers, which imagine that, because of the fact they don't even have a fraction of the amount of people, their COVID numbers are significantly less. So the impact up there has been less. Basically, and not only that, too, 90% of the people on the hockey teams are from Canada. So
yeah.
Canada, Russia, or Czechoslovakia, or Czech.
Like coming on home.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Yeah, there you go, Czech Republic. NHL sanctuary cities. Give me 1 second. Bam! Cities for playoffs. It's going to be Edmonton and Toronto. There we go. So why the fuck did I just go with Toronto in the first place? Yeah, that's what I get for second guess myself. That's why I'm a B student. But, dude, So that's cool. At least we've got sports starting to come back around. I mean, none of the upcoming fights look good. All the UFC fights look super weak.
Super weak. Now, we don't know much about the Stipe and Cormier fight at the moment. They have not filled that card, but that's by looking at it, that's going to be the most decent one here for the next couple months.
Yeah, right. A couple months is the key. It's going to be a minute. Months. I mean, unless you guys like technical fighters, there'll be a couple ones. I mean, we're still going to give weekly updates when we see a fight that we want to jump on board and put some wagers on.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, so
training camp should be starting soon, right?
For football?
Yeah.
To my knowledge, yeah, they're supposed to be starting. So I mean, they're trying to figure out this whole fucking epidemic with the preseason, dude. Which I think it's really whack that the NFLPA wants to cut preseason altogether. It's just like, dude, at least leave the 2 games in there. Not because of the fact that we as fans want to watch it. I mean, that's to your benefit because that puts money in your pocket because those people are paying your salaries. But also because of the fact it gives other people who don't have a snowball's chance in Satan's jockstrap of making the regular season roster without that time, in the limelight kind of deal for preseason. It gives them the opportunity to shine. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm torn more on the side of I think they should have it.
Because I know for sure, people are looking forward to that preseason and all the fringe people, the people that's on the bubble and stuff like that. They fucking need that.
Yeah, it's really unfair to them because it's basically all the veterans basically saying "fuck you" to the younger guys, and it's like, dude, it's so unfair because those guys are the future. So I mean, it all comes down at that point in time to who shows out in training camp. Which when you can't even play against other teams, who's really going to show out? Oh wow, they're doing well against their own team that they practice against every single week. Like, well, everybody looks good when you're not playing in pads, or I mean, should. In theory,
yeah, because I mean, I can almost guarantee you they're not doing much of full pass shit. No. So the fucking shells and shorts.
Dude, how fucking stupid is it about this this little policy they implemented where they're not allowed to exchange jerseys? Like, did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, for one, I think it's dumb as fuck. But also, because I understand, the team owned the jerseys, but if that's the case, just make the guys play for it.
They were doing it because of the COVID shit. Because I mean, I'm sure they do. No, they're saying
no.
Oh, that's not what it was. Oh, I thought it was the COVID stuff.
They're doing it because of the actual cost of the game jerseys and them swapping them out. Right, because now it's something that they can't use anymore. They have to purchase new ones. Okay, but if that's the case, again, just charge the player for it. Because I don't know because I remember when that whole debacle was going on. AJ Hawk, he broke it down. He broke it down as far as dollar amount. Like, hey, when I left, I had to pay actual money for my jerseys. I mean, he actually broke it down. I mean, so if that's the case, if you're losing out on money, I don't give a fuck who changes what jerseys. Just charge them. Who cares?
But they were saying that. So their justification though is coinciding with the COVID-19. So they're saying
you sweated on the same person for
boom, exactly
60 fucking minutes. Well, who cares if I give him my jersey?
Stupid.
So we got to another level of stupidity here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, these dudes are bleeding. Dude, there's so many reports of the guys out there pissing on themselves and just playing through it. It's like, really? You're concerned about the virus at that point in time after we just basically raped each other for 40 or 60 minutes? Like, get the dude, this is a prison brawl, and we're concerned about a chest cough. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Oh man,
what a fiasco, man. So, but I mean, that's pretty much weird, right? Look at that creepy ass lady back there.
That's like, you got a new dog or something?
Yeah. Dude, it freaked me out too, because I was like, the fuck is that animal back there?
Oh on that note, hey, bro, I got to go, man. My fucking headphones are running low. They're about to die.
You good, dude? All right, buddy. So, yeah, guys, in case you had noticed, we become more and more, I guess, attractive to some people. We enjoy it. We appreciate it. Make sure that you guys hit like and subscribe. We're going to go ahead and start posting all of our information inside of the subtitles that we have for the little subparagraph subscriptions, which you guys need to do down below here. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. We will give you guys all the updates for our Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. We should be in the process of transitioning over to having our own podcast on more than just YouTube soon. So you guys will be able to follow us there. Do you have anything else to take us out on, my friend?
No. Hey, appreciate everybody. Like, share, subscribe, and be on the lookout for that running back roster for fantasy football that should be dropping tomorrow.
Sweet, dude. Absolutely, guys. All right, enjoy. Later, buddy. We'll catch up with you.
All right.